Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group A. We'll present documentary which titles Santa's Workshop Inside China's Slave Labor Toy Factories. My name is Muhammad Rizwan Institution bin Muhammad Idris, matric number 1212761.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm a second presenter named Wan Aisyah Syafiqah binti Abdul Rahman. My metric number is 1212747.
Hi, my name is Naat Latika binti Khadijah. My matrix number 1212752.
My name is Nawadina Mardia binti Arif. My matrix number is 1212746.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Sabrina binti Mak Sabri. My matric number is 1212702.
My name is Mezari bin Madi and my matric number is 1212703.
Before we start, I'm going to give you an overview about our presentation for today. So, among the content that we are going to present today are executive summary, introduction, the issue through three things, innovative employees, trend in current practice, and nature of employment. Besides, we are also going to talk about which chapter of Principle of Management related to our chosen documentary, which are chapter 5, 15, 16, and 17. Then, we'll discuss the conclusion, recommendation, and lesson from the documentary. So, let's dive into the discussion further. First up, I'll be explaining executive summary. Based on the documentary, Santa's workshop located in China where laborers have been discriminated against as a workers' right. Companies in China practice exploitative practices that discriminate against the right of vulnerable women workers. For instance, 90% in the factory are female workers because for them, women are easy to manage and they all come from far away province of China. They do not set a minimum wages for factory laborer, but instead wages are given based on how fast they work. Those who work slowly earn about 300 yuan, while if the laborer work fast, they can earn 400 to 500 yuan. Unfortunately, the wages they receive does not match the time they work. Workers are forced to work 14 hours a day for 7 days a week and are required to perform overtime in factories to earn more wages. Not only that, based on the documentary, workers are unwilling to speak up about their right regarding laborer welfare due to the threats of dismissal by superiors. Companies disregard the environment by disposing of manufacturing waste in nearby river areas to save money on waste disposal costs on the grounds. That's all about the executive summary. Next, I will pass to the Aisha to continue our presentation.
Hi everyone, I'm Aisha, a second presenter besides Rizwan, are going to continue further our discussion today. Now, we move to the introduction. Most toys provide at least some opportunity for children to learn. The best toys engage a child's sense, spark their imaginations, and encourage them to interact with others. Most of them have no idea where the toys are made. In August 2000, Word of News has revealed that one of the factories making toys for McDonald's employed child labor. Multinational Corporation (MNC) is a business that has operations and assets in at least one country other than its home country. Santa Workshop is one of the categories of multinational corporation located in China that makes toys for the US and European markets. Besides that, in Europe, they spend more than $20,000 million on toys and games every year, especially at Christmas season. China is the largest producer of more than 75% of our toys today because their labor is cheap. The findings found that the toys factories in China face issues where no minimum wages, working hour, working environment, and safety, unable to voice their rights about the welfare of laborers, and lack of management. So I think that will give you some overview about our case. And now, let's dive into another section that will be explained by Rizwan. Thank you.
Oh, now I know introduction about our case. Now, let me share with you to the next part, which is defining and framing the issue. The first one is innovative employees. Innovative employees can help company in becoming better company from growth and longevity. It will help company to gain more ability and be in the spotlight. This situation is an added value to the company and can be one of the growing factor. In generating ideas, the usage of methodological and intuitive strategy are a stepping stone for the employees to be an innovative employees. For second point, we are discussing trend in current practice. They really need to be restructure their workflows or embrace modern technologies because based on the documentary, the lack of all these things is one of the factors that lead to the corruption in the factory itself, and it can affect the workers directly. They really need to become increasingly depend on its capacity to learn rapidly. Based on the documentary, the managers refuse to learn new things or listen to his workers' voice. They really need to be open and increase their dependence in order to grow more. Transparent work culture, organization and reporting are simplified and it will make the work more efficient and can meet the target well. The last part is nature of employment. In a normal organization, there will be employers, employees and also government organization. Based on the documentary, we can see that these three elements did not synchronize well. Employers does not care about the employees did not know their rights and too afraid to voice their hardship. While the government organization does not give proper platform to the workers in the nation to voice out their hardship, worries and anything else. Unbalanced, these three elements lead to the desired condition as the crime scene as they portray in the documentary. Next, the employment zone, organization management and cooperation to others. In the documentary, we can see that their working zone is not conducive and suitable to work. Managers provide limited protection to the workers that had to switch for the whole their working hours. It is related to the organization management which are bad and not good for the employees. Most of them practice dictator management which lead to the passive employees and it gets worsened with the unfriendly environment. Employees do have cooperation between them that help reduce some of their stress, but we mainly can see cooperation between employees and employers, whereas employers did not even think about their employees' welfare and just think them as a slave. We can see that their nature of employment is in negative way and not following the international standard that protect workers' rights. So, I think I speak too much. I'm tired right now. Aisha, can you explain the next chapter?
Okay, Rizwan, thank you for your great explanation before. So now, let's take a look on what we can do with this book. Firstly, I will talk about chapter 5, which is about managing ethics and social responsibility. So, what is ethics? Ethics is the set of moral principles and values that control a person's or group's action in terms of what is right and wrong. Ethics establish guidelines for what constitutes good and bad behaviors and decision making, while theory of social responsibility is based on an ethical framework in which decisions and acts must first be ethical verified. Under this chapter, sustainability and the triple bottom line that relate with the video. Sustainability refers to the ability to generate profit while maintaining environmental and social stewardship, thereby addressing present and future stakeholder requirements while also preserving the environment and society for future generation. While the triple bottom line strategy is used by managers in organizations that place a premium on sustainability. Profit, people, and the planet are the three P's of it. The people component of the triple bottom line examines the organization's social responsibility in terms of fair labor practice, diversity, supplier relationships, employee retreatment, community donations, and so on. They were underpayment despite their hard work with long working hours. Their effort did not worth with their wages. The employer did not set the minimum wages paid the workers based on how fast they work. Slowest will get 300 yuan, while the fastest will get up 400 to 500 yuan. And the workers who took overtime work will get up 700 to 800 yuan. They only get a dorm to share with 12 to 20 workers. And the dorm is very cramped and the workers are barely just survive living there. And now let me explain chapter 15, which is about leadership. Leadership is defined as the ability to motivate and influence others to achieve corporate objectives. Leaders play a critical role in the success of the business. Three aspects of leadership stand out among all the ideas and writing on the subject are people, influence, and goals. A specific aim influence is used to reach a specific aim or goal. As a result, leadership, as defined above, is the ability to persuade others to achieve a common purpose. It supported the notion that leaders collaborate with others to achieve specific goals. Leaders inspire and motivate others to achieve their objective. Discussion of followership. No discussion of leadership is complete. The Power of Followership by Robert E. Kelly depicts two aspects, the first of which is the quality of independent, which are critical thinking versus uncritical thinking. And the second aspect is the followership style, which are active versus passive. In video, there are passive followers. This style is frequently the product of the micromanager who favors passive behavior. People learn that taking initiative, accepting a responsibility, and thinking imaginatively are not rewarded and may even be punished by their bosses. So they become more docile. We can see that Han Dongfang, one of the leaders of the student protest China Square in 1989, produced a variety of strategies, including writing letters and articles for the China Labour Bulletin, starting a radio program called Radio Free Asia to raise awareness, sending workers to support over the phone so that they could fight in court, and many more. Phew, so chapter 5 about leadership are completely. So I hope you understand. Rizwan, what's next?
Now, we move to the chapter 16. Chapter 16 is about motivating employees. Motivating employees also relate in this video. Managers in other companies are discovered that the need of motivating employees, which employees feel value, that their work is meaningful, that they have positive relationship with their co-workers and managers, and that they have opportunities for growth and development can help them achieve elevated levels of employee motivation. A highly engaged workforce is critical to an organization's success. Motivating is one of the challenges to managers. The two-factor theory proposed by the Frederick Husberg is another common motivation theory. His findings reveal that the work motivation influenced by the motivators like achievement, work itself, and etc. and hygiene factors like supervision, salary, and many more. In this video, their work condition can be measured by this small salary that the workers get, which is included in hygiene factors and aspect of motivators that incent working hours. The motivation of the workers will be decreasing and their work becoming less productive. Now, we move to the next chapter, which is chapter 17. It is about managing communication. Communication is the sending and receiving of information. A sender or the one who initiates communication must transfer their thoughts. This message is transmitted to the receiver, who is the person who gets it, and the receiver must then decode or interpret it. Managerial surveys suggest that communication is their most important ability and one of their top responsibilities. We can relate non-verbal communication in this video. Non-verbal communication is the transfer of information using body language, including eye contact, facial expression, gestures, and more. Non-verbal communication also is the dependent on seeing and analyzing physical movement as opposed to verbal communication. In the video Santa's workshop, managers and workers apply non-verbal communication. For example, the managers notice that their workers are in a very bad condition, yet they still have not doing something to fix it or to make the situation better. In one of the interviews with the managers, they literally telling us a story about one of his workers had fainted and supported by two of her friends. He added that the condition is because of the workers that want to save the money, so they did not have their breakfast. They also work in a very loud and unsafety factory. Based on their visit to one of the factories in Shenzhen, only fewer workers that have a proper equipment such as a pair of earmuffs, gloves, and proper protection that can help to protect them from unwanted injury or incident during the work. One of the interviewers said that the most of the workers' arms are engulfed in the scars that they got from the high heat exposure as a part of the process in the making the toys. Plus, the managers also told the interviewer that the heat will make the factory become hotter, especially during summer. Workers never did anything to fix the bad treatment. It is a non-verbal communication, whereas managers did not know that their worker is suffering, yet they did not do any improvement. Either managers or workers, they did not practice the proper way to communicate with each other. They tend to suffer from the inside rather than telling their managers.
To sum up this documentary, the company must play an essential role in improving the life of their production workers. As in this documentary, every business should have a code of ethics and process for managing its labor force to prevent difficulties. The director of the firm must pay greater attention to company management, particularly factory laborers, because supervisors do not always know what occurred to subordinate factory laborers with expertise. Periodic and exhaustive inspections should always be conducted to ensure the welfare of all employees. According to this documentary, prejudice against toy manufacturing workers in China and the most factories is worsening. They are also entitled to a better life as manufacturing workers.
Aisha, I think I can add something for it. Therefore, to avoid problem in this video from escalating and recurring, it may be necessary to identify some potential remedies, which is recommendation to solve the problems. Firstly, every nation should establish minimum salaries, particularly for private employees such as manufacturing workers. According to the federal law, the minimum wages is the lowest hourly rate provided to a worker. Due to the central government superior strength, a corporation that is proven wealthy of manipulating employee salaries can be punished in the court. Their laws are believed to be more stringent. Next, each nation should establish laws regulating the length of time work, and if employees work extra, they should be compensated according to the amount of time they work overtime. In addition, each nation must implement worker safety and workplace procedures to guarantee that every worker works safely. This is because many corporations prioritize profit over employee safety in the workplace. Every worker has the right to a safe and hospitable work environment. Most safety practices are common sense. Unfortunately, they can be forgotten or overlooked unless you make safe practices a habit or an instinct.
Hope so. The recommendation kindly be used. We have learned a lot of lessons from this heartbreaking documentary. Firstly, we must be considerate to others since not everyone is fortunate, such as factory workers who have no option but to work in toy factories for greater earnings. As a manager, we should not just concentrate on profit while operating a businesses, as the profits obtained are the result of the efforts of the workers who make the company's goods, and we cannot disregard their well-being. The firm did not execute the demands of the manufacturing workers, such as higher salaries. Next, as a worker, we must have the courage to assert our rights to the company in order to obtain better wages, flexible working hours, and a safe work environment that is complemented by a variety of safety equipment rather than simply doing what the company tells them to do. As toy factory workers in China did not dare to assert their rights for fear of losing their jobs. Aside from that, life should take precedence over all other concerns since they cannot be replaced if lost. The chief executive officer or managers in the company, we must provide a safe workplace for workers to prevent the company from having to pay compensation and being sued by the laborers. Here's in the event of an accident or fire attributable to an unsafe workplace that lacks various safety equipment. After that, the corporation must be honest and truthful with employees since fraud is illegal. In this documentary, there is a segment in which factory workers are not given a pay proportionate to the number of hours they work every day, even though there are precise regulations about this in the company's policy and the management denies this. Finally, we should protect the environment from contamination. As a corporation, the discharge of production waste into rivers should be avoided since rivers are a resource used by the local community. It may harm the health of the nearby people if contaminated. That is the end of our presentation for today. Thank you for lending us your ears. Thanks for your attention and fully support. If you have any question regarding the documentary or simply about our presentation, feel free to ask us. With that being said, thank you so much and have a good day.